We have Tonga Tautai, Lililaita Paia in the hooking role. We've got Mary Jane Taito and coached by Sefo Fui Maono, who is a familiar figure. I think he must be still coaching out in Point Chev, but he's a talent to have in the coaching stock as well.
Yes, he is. We've got the Auckland Blue side. Milan Edemir has been a spark for them everywhere. Evelyn Roberts is outstanding to watch. Michna's really controlled the ruck well when she's been playing at 9. And Soraya Palipali scored 4 tries 2 weeks ago. I reckon she's going to bag a couple here today, but it's going to be interesting conditions with rain pouring down at 7:30 this morning while we were setting up. So I think field's still wet. It'd be interesting to see how these girls go with their hands in the opening 10 minutes
That's
or so.
right. And just to give you a heads up, even though the field is a bit slick at the moment, it's not currently raining. So I suppose ball security is primary here in the Georgia Hale Cup Grand Final between Auckland White and Auckland Blue. These teams both met in round 2. Auckland White dominating that performance. However, from the past 3 other games that they've had against Waikato, Northland and Tauranga, Auckland Blue have really improved the quality of their performance.
They have, and they've really shown what their forwards can do. They have a bigger forward pack in terms of size and how they're really able to be mobile as well. They have good, strong runners who can hit nice lines and holes really off those halves. And I think it goes down, if they lay that platform, Milano to me off the back of that, she's a spark really everywhere.
Here we are, we're underway. Welcome, e te whānau, piki mai, kake mai. We're underway at the grand final here of the Georgia Hale Cup. And she must be stoked having a tournament named after her, Georgia Hale.
Oh, she is, and I reckon she sent a message before we had the trials earlier in the year. Little message to all the girls saying, come down, trial, really do your best and really put a good step forward. And being the former Warrior and current Gold Coast Titan NRLW player, I reckon she's probably watching back over in the Gold Coast right now, really cheering these girls on.
Wicked. Hey, Dan, I get kicks watching women's rugby league, bro. Like, to be honest, like in the Indigenous All-Stars games and when the Kiwi Ferns are up, there's some brutal hits, bro, and it like just picks up the spirits, doesn't it?
Tell me about it. I reckon some of these girls hit harder than the boys do each week as we see a big shot there and over the top already.
Oh, let's get back to the action. As you can tell by the tone of our voice, Dan and I are really pumped to be able to bring you coverage of this game. I'd just like to acknowledge Auckland Rugby League and Stream Shop for making the pictures. And we've got a great game ahead of us. Tell us a little bit about the other 2 games that are coming up as well, Dan.
Yeah, so we've got the under-16 Sean Johnson Shield after this one. It's Auckland White versus Auckland Black. And Auckland White, they do have the ascendancy on Black, beating them 32 points to 18 earlier in the rounds. But Auckland Black have some skillful players. EJ Mahudelamere at fullback is electric. He's got a bit of Matt Duffy, Roger Tuivasa Sheck vibes about him. And after that, Auckland Red versus Auckland Black. And Auckland Black in the 18s for Dean Bell Cup just won. Last minute try, 34 point. Oh, they won 38 to 34 last week. It was an outstanding game, and I think Red are undefeated so far. So it'll be interesting to see if Red can hold on here.
So we've got Georgia Hale, we've got Sean Johnson, and we've got Dean Bell. I mean, Dean Bell is an OG legend. Sean Johnson is recreating his legendary status. I'm really pleased in his maturity and the way he's taking himself to the game. There was some criticism of his form at the Sharks, but he's come back and he's turned a new leaf, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and it's just interesting to see how he's gone from this year against last year. And he looked a little shallow of himself, but I think really those sort of new signings and the way Webby's got them coaching this year, and he's really, and it was awesome to see him against someone like Kiko on the weekend, just amped up defensively, really having a good go, and it was awesome to see Johnson get involved. And I think off the back of his defence, that really let his running game flow.
A big acknowledgement to all the whānau here watching. Let's celebrate some of our wahine toa that have made space into these representative teams. Just a rundown of the Auckland White team: Masoe, Leunga, Fesolai, Tavita, Tautai, Paia, Sorensen McGee, Tau, Taito, Kaufusi, Matapo, Suani, Finau. And over on the Auckland Blue side, Milan Ieremia, Fuena, Sasa, Mafoe, Louis, the Louis sisters from Mangere East. Mount Albert's Dorothy Brunt, Evelyn Roberts, Rokeni, Michina, Lauisitsi, Otineru, Tanu'u, Pale Pale, and acknowledgements to the bench as well for Fita Lavea, Monica Ben, and Liara Totorewa Tauranga. An awesome, beautiful Pacific fruit salad there with our Polynesian sisters. Let's call some of the action. Keep an eye out on this fullback here for Auckland Blue. That's Milan Ieremia. And Epsom Girls, Mount Albert stalwart.
And just like you can see there, Edemir breaks through 1-2 tackles, and she's got an offload away. And I think Evelyn did a little bit too much of the running game the last time these two teams played. I think early ball to the likes of the Louis sisters or Danny Marfoy really puts the opposition on the back foot early. So it's not a bad little kick there. The chase wasn't the best, but see how they can do it there. And it's, oh, good contact over the top. That's Ivana Laatiti. She put on some shots the last time these girls played against Northland and Coastlines, and I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end from some of them.
We've seen some good completed sets early into this fixture. Both teams just testing the waters. As you said, the halfback, Evelyn Roberts, isn't afraid of taking the ball to the line. Sometimes it's probably better just to feed and give opportunities out wide to some of her more ragey forwards. But we always encourage a halfback to take the ball to the line.
Yeah, we do, and it's what most of the halves do nowadays. The likes of Jack White and Sean Johnson really love to run the ball. Jack White, and especially a stocky, big unit. He's, 6'1", 100 kilos almost, and I think that's what you want in a half now, is you want one to run, one to control. There's a little bobble there from Louis, and just claims it on the 40, though. It's a good little set here to start their attacking raid for Auckland Blue.
Yeah, a bit of a midfield bomb. Not many options besides Gary Owen. But up she went, and like you said, taken well. Big contact there from Auckland White's defence, Claudia Finau, who has a contract with the Dogs, the Canterbury Bulldogs, who's heading over in May. So all the best to Claudia Finau and her whānau that have got an opportunity over the ditch. Here we are with Auckland Blue taking the ball to the line. Not the greatest pass, obviously. What's our ref calling? Is that a bit of a knock-on or knock-back?
He's called it backwards there, and she's done well to stay in too, really flirting with that touchline, and good pressure on Evelyn Roberts there, and a little hit for the afters, and well claimed, though, by Taylor Bennett Marsoy there. But a sturdy defence, though, really putting pressure on their kick chaser, Auckland Blue, and I think that's how they're really going to put White on the back foot early, is just really getting down there, getting in the face, and they didn't do enough of that last time, so it'll be interesting to see if they can maintain that.
Struggling to get out of their own half at the moment is Auckland White, just to let the viewers know at home. Obviously, the teams are wearing similar jerseys. However, with the white collar and the white strip in the puku, that's the Auckland White team. And on the other side is our Auckland Blue team with the red chest. So just to let you know, two Auckland teams have made their way to the big dance. Auckland teams all around pretty much in all the finals, don't we?
Yeah, it was. It was interesting to see, though, because I thought what the Waikato 16s boys really have some skillful players on their side, and thought they would have just pipped it, but I think they only missed out on 1 point. So unfortunate for them to not get a good crack at it, but I think next year, if they can maintain those boys for that Waikato team, really push these Auckland boys.
Looking for first points opportunity is the Auckland Blue squad. Here we are on the left-hand edge early in the set. Letitia feed out to the left edge. A little shrug there from Shanti Louis. It's Tuakana Teina Raiwa. We've got Shanti and Shaf Louis from Mangere East, the two sisters. Does 4 and 5 play on the same side, Dan?
I think they've been playing on the same side in previous weeks, and I've always been really interested to see how two siblings, or two sisters in particular, work well together. It's Edemia again. She's got an early ball, and it's fired through the hands, but just like that, back on the case of siblings on one side, I've always wanted to, in that situation for myself, to have my brother playing either inside me or outside me. It's just awesome to see that two siblings can really have a good crack together. And I think we saw last week for one of the Auckland things, I think it was the Dean Bell Cup, and two of the Tui Pelotu boys were on the opposite side. So again, they're to and fro either way, and I think they were in a few tackles together, really getting it up. And you know, the parents would have been down the middle, been like, boys, you both played well, but one got the win, the other didn't. And it's all talked about at the dinner table there.
I'll share a quick story with you about the sibling love for one another. I don't know if you recall Paul and David Fisiahi. It's one of Glenn's uncles. Anyway, they played for Mount, and they were pumping a team that was a televised game. Anyway, one of the brothers was a centre, one of the brothers was the winger, right? And the centre wasn't passing to his brother. Like, he scored 3 or 4 tries, our centre. I don't know if it was Paul or David. Anyway, what topped it off, Dan, was the winger brother. He tackled his own brother before the try line because he wasn't giving the ball to him. So let's hope that's not the case for Shanti and Shaf, Louis, that they are kind enough and just playing heads-up footy and what's in front of them. But that's the sibling love, a strong example of the Fisiahi brothers and their love for one another.
Again, we see that little good inside shot there on Milana Demira from Faith Tavita. Faith Tavita's a big, stocky centre, and she's another one that can filter into that back row sort of position, really run nice lines. But I think Edamir, if they want to win this Auckland Blues side, they've got to give her as many touches of the ball as possible. She's been electric everywhere, chip and chase some weeks, getting the ball back, breaking the line. She ran one, I think it was at a 60-metre try on the Hooter against Northland a few weeks ago. She's everywhere. They see a little break down the right-hand side, and they've been flirting with that side all morning so far.
I've been really impressed with the quality of the football, Dan. Like, we've only been 10, 15 minutes into the game, but we haven't seen one error. Completed sets, good distribution of the football, tough carries, strong hits. You've got to be really pleased with the quality of the stock of Women's Rugby League at the moment.
Yeah, it's good to see so far. As we see a big shot there. I think that's, again, Lautiti with that one. But like you said, just the quality of hands, and even on a slippery surface like this, they've only been, I think, one drop ball through the hands before. But other than that, it's been safe as houses under the high ball and everything. See a good clutch there. At the bread basket, doesn't go straight through it.
White with the football now in A centre field. Bit of a hand in there, I think. Refs saying no. The first loose carry, as we have witnessed here in the first half. But like you said, yeah, they're going really well at the moment. Both teams. Let's acknowledge the coaching staff: Bronson Harden and Tisha Mara, Tasha Davies and Charlotte Scanlon. These are all ex-Ferns, Sevens and Knights players. So having pedigree and mātauranga and knowledge about the game and the coaching space must be a huge benefit for some of our young women who are familiarising themselves with the complexities of our proud game.
Yeah, and I think just having that pedigree in your side just gives these girls a bit more learning, and they'll obviously, like all the girls are now, they'll listen better than what the boys do, so they'll take a lot more and really learn a lot. And I think the pedigree of what we have in the coaching side for this women's game and the Georgia Hale Cup is really going to excel these girls for the future, give them, I think, a little bit more drive too, and really try and strive. And I think when the Warriors can get a few more pathways for these girls, we're really going to maintain a lot of them, as we see. And Amir's going to work with that ball all game, just that fired out, and I think that's what Roberts did well. They just give her early ball, sort of a passive line, not too engaged, but they slid well, though, did Auckland White. I think if she just hugged that touchline a little bit more, would have gone straight to hands. As a little bit of a stoppage here. We don't know what to for. There might have been a little bit of an injury, and I think that's that's Ashley Matapo there on screen, and she's got a damaging carry on her as Matapo really runs a good line. I think when they get quick play the balls in, Mary Jane Taito is just going to scoot as she did last time. Really crafty from dummy half. But Api Coruscant vibes, the way she takes off and manoeuvres around the ruck. And I think it's going to be a strong one there for her. If they can get a roll on their Auckland White team, she's a hard one to stop.
Prime opportunity for the Auckland Blues squad to break the ice and get first points on the board here at the Georgia Hale Cup Grand Final. Cornwall Park, Tamaki Makaurau. Blue with a early example of shape. Good short ball there, ran by their back rower in Riley Fruin Otineru. Little drop off, turn back on the inside there. Does Danny Mafoy. Mount Albert grammar student. Playing for the Lions as well. Centre field we go. We have Riley Fruin Otineru. And that was tackle 5. Not the greatest completion or the option to the final play of the set there.
Nah, not there. I think Evelyn just needed to try and stab one in the end goal there. Really try and put the pressure back on White, make them work it out. As we see a big thumping shot. Oi, oi, that's Tonu'u there putting a big hit on. Her and Lawatiti dish them out left, right, centre. And I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of one of those.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it, don't you? You take some and you give them back. I think this winger here would have second thoughts of taking the ball up, hit and spin, and met with a hungi. Auckland White doing well to hang in there, showing great resilience with their own defence, being able to hold out. Quite a classy team that's showing great shape in this early stage of the first half.
Yeah, they are, and I think what Auckland Blue are doing well is really getting numbers in the tackle, just slowing the ruck down, not allowing Mary Jane Taitor to just weave and duck her way in. As you see, they found the backs of like the Auckland White players on 3 of the 4 tackles so far as a shallowish kick. It's going to be attacked by both sides, and it's touched and it's regained, and here we go. Lemilate Paia gets a just rewards there for a good kick chase.
Hey, what comes from great defence is an opportunity to attack in the opposition's red zone. I hope that Auckland White can be patient with the footy. Short side stack, they go. And we're in for the money. That's Taylor Bennett Masoe with the first points for the Auckland White team, who I think are coming in as underdogs here in this game.
Yes, they are. They did beat them last time, but they've had all the running against them so far, really on the back fence, and I think the kick chase really made the most of it then. They were able to get it, and again, Taylor Bennett Masoe took it nice and deep, shrugged off 1-2, and just had to weave her way over. But it all goes down to that kick chase off that last tackle. A little bit of a fumble there from, I think it was Shafnoir Louis there, but, you know, if you didn't make your own luck when you do a good kick chase like that, and on the back of it, 4 points on the board, first try of the day.
First try of the day, and first opportunity, in fact, down the other end of the field, and they've capitalised and turned it into points. So congratulations to the Auckland White team. Like you said, did sort out the Auckland Blue team in round 2. But let's acknowledge the other squad that has really been dominant in the first 15 minutes or so. That's the Auckland Blue team.
Yeah, had all the ball down Auckland White's end, gained all that territory and possession, really put them on the back foot as Sorensen McGee lines this up. It's not a bad strike. Oh, she's nailed it. What a kick. She has a boot on her, does Braxton. Showed that in the finals for Howick. Really knocked over 2 from the sideline, whereas I think some of the Point Chev boys are struggling to hit it from the sideline. So made them eat their words and showed them how to kick some goals. But again, back to Auckland Blue, all the position, all the territory. And I think those last 2 tackles that led to that try, they didn't find the player on the back, quick play the balls, and then early ball for Taylor Bennett Masoe. You're going to be hard to stop it from there.
Let's remind ourselves that this is an under-17s tournament. However, there's 14, 15-year-old girls out there mixing it with some of their tuakana. It's very pleasing to see that age isn't necessarily an issue. If you've got the know-how and you've got the confidence and the physique and the right attitude, then certainly you deserve a spot in this team.
Yeah, you do. And the likes of Evelyn Roberts is one of those girls. She's only 14, but mixes it in really. She's got the skill set to match it, but she's got the hard work and the attitude, as you see 1, 2, 3, 4 in there, and that's what they want to make up for Auckland Blue. And a couple of bench players on. The bench players have been key in all the games so far, Lou, and in previous weeks just really driven teams forward there, as you see a strong run to match that last defensive effort.
We don't really acknowledge the efforts of the bench and the knowledge around the coaches of when to make these substitutions and make these changes. But in terms of the Warriors top side, I get a buzz when I see the 2 bald-headed men come on the squad and Dylan Walker and Jazz Tevanga.
Yeah, they're really making a muck of it. It's awesome to see how they'll get Dylan Walker at first receiver someplace. Jazz will float out the back, and they've got that little 1-2. I think they set each other up for the try against, I think it was the Cowboys the other week, but as you see, a half break down the left-hand side, and wrapped up there was Tarian Leoga.
Awesome stuff here. Just a reminder, kaua hare tawhiti e hoa mai, e rua anō ngā kemu e hare ake nei. We've got 2 more games coming up, the Sean Johnson Cup and the Dean Bell Cup, so you're spoiled for rugby league today, and you've got the authority from us to sit on the couch and watch your footy for the bulk of the day.
Yeah, and if it's going to rain later, then I'd suggest staying at home, as we see Auckland White get ever so close. And that previous play, Auckland Blue regained the kick, but a one-on-one strip, you don't see that too often, as they spring it left, and it's a little bit of easy work, and jumping in and out is Fesolai there. Wonderful work from Auckland White to get that one-on-one strip, get the ball back, and get another 4-pointer.
Tian Fesolai over the chalk, as we see here, a nice long ball from our half, and Braxton Sorensen McGee, and a little in and out, in and away. A bit of a stutter step that caught the defenders in 2 minds, as we see here once again, a little in and away and a fend, and a great finish there by Tian Fesolai, and the Auckland White team back in to score some more points here at the Georgia Hale Cup final.
And it was interesting to see how many bodies were caught around the ruck then. I think they had 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter of the ruck, really congested defense. Everyone slid in and the space was out wide, made the most of it, slung the ball out, early ball too, and matter of fact is how you're really going to make the most of it. And let's see if Braxton Sorensen McGee can go other side this time, nudge this one over. But a JT hook on this, I reckon.
It's Becker in, Dan. Oh, tell me about it. Oh, just had the angle, had the strike, but just not enough kaha. Sorensen, Braxton Sorensen McGee. Obviously, the Sorensen name has a great mana in the Penrith space with Scott Sorensen, one of her uncles. And so, as we see once again, a good finish by the Auckland White team. It's really important, Dan, that this Auckland Blue team bounces back, because we know that this game is a game of momentum. They had all the momentum in the first half of this first half. However, the tide has turned a little bit in favour of the Auckland White team.
Yeah, they don't want to be too bothered by it. I don't think they are at the minute, so it'll be interesting to see. As you can see, they've all made their way up to the kickoff line, really wanting to get back into it. And I think that one-on-one strip dented it a bit because they regained the kick, but I think it'll be interesting to see how they respond with this set. And I think they'll go back to what they're doing, just really getting numbers in the tackle, putting them on their back, just like that. You got 3 right in there on the back already, and that's what they'll keep doing. Their defensive standpoint has been good. Just when they're down in their own 10, it's really caught around the ruck. That's where they need to be careful. Try and not bait too many in, and then the space is out wide for this Auckland White team, so they've got to be careful with that. But other than that, early bodies in, keep it going.
Defense wins games, and certainly Auckland Blue has shown their quality in terms of defense. Let's hope that they can suffocate the Auckland White team to prevent them from scoring any more points before the half. It's 10-0, and as you say, and I'm grateful for what you said, I think they won't be too fast about the 10-point lead as such, but it's really important that they try and regroup and prevent this Auckland White team for capitalising on and creating more point scoring opportunities.
Yeah, and you can see it's a good little defensive set here, really trying to force the error, kicking from inside their own half there with Auckland White, so it's a good defensive set, and don't want to give Edemir broken space because look at her weave duck. Again, another one who's crafty, got good hands, good footwork, and lucky not to be penalised for a little bit of a flop there, but referee says play on.
As we see our edges, our backs coming in to relieve some of the huge amount of defence that Auckland Blues undertook in this first half. It's pleasing to see backs come in and put their hands up to get the set started off, isn't it? And
that's what the Auckland Black for the 16s boys do well. They really get involved, and that's a good carry there. That's May Winoida Sasa there taking a good little run, a little relieving run that was 10, 15 metres off that, and I think that's good there from Evelyn Roberts, just trying to hit it forward, nice direct back up the ruck, and they're making a few good metres off this set of Auckland Blue.
Bit of an up and under, good nudge, hopefully gets a kind bounce and could possibly stay in the end goal here. And it has, cleaned up, not the most tidy clean up, but all in all we've got a goal line drop, a good set from the Auckland Blue team.
Yeah, it was. They made nice metres up the middle there, and the kick backed it too. A nice, lucky little break. There was a bouncing off the point there. Not the best clean-up in the end goal, but any clean-up when it goes dead's a good clean-up.
This oval egg-shaped thing that we call a football is so difficult to judge.
Yeah, and that dropout matches it there. You see it rolling off the point as Evelyn Roberts goes again, looking to utilise the space, trying to shrug off one, and good defence there from Tarian Leolga. They're going to go again. They'll want early ball out. That's a little bit of a run. It's Fruanotineru. She's been busy for early workers, Riley Fruanotineru. I think, again, they'll just want a little bit more flatter on the play. When they get inside that 20, make sure you have nice, good depth for the likes of Edemir and Roberts to hit that ball early.
Auckland Blue here with their prime opportunity to get some points on the board. Let's hope that's called a knockback, and it is. Edemir with their slick footwork. Cleaned up there. Back to the centre field we go. Let's hope one of these back rows just hit the post, and that's what's happened with this Auckland Blue team in Aliana Tonu'u. 20 metres out. Auckland Blue ready to strike. Bit heavy, I think, that kick there. But we've got a winger backing up and following through. Can she go in? Held up. And no luck. Oh, geez. I thought that was a bit of a heavy foot, that one there. But the winger there in May Fuena Sasa followed up well in great defence. Covering defence.
That was our try scorer there. Taylor Benamasoi with that cover. Did well to roll her on her back and just hold on to that ball for dear life, not letting it go. But I don't think Auckland Blue will be too fussed with that. That was a good attacking set. The kick ended up being a nice one in the end with the bounce sitting up off the point. And looked a little heavy off the boot from Roberts. As again, they're trying to fly out, put shots on left, right, centre. And not a bad one. We haven't seen Mary Jane Title run the ball yet, and that's her strength. And when she gets a bit of space, as we see a shot and a half again. Vaina Lauatiti is putting out hits left, right, and centre.
Obviously, the Lauatiti whānau is celebrated with Ali, who's such a figure of our rugby league community. There we go once again. Straight onto the field, poor Betsy, poor Fualau Bautoa. Good take there with it back to the defence from the Auckland White team, and Tiane Fesolai, Auckland Blue.
It's Danny Mafoy there.
Mafoy,
and
yeah.
Another one, if you give her early ball, she's a strong carrier of the ball, really got good footwork to the match. And again, you'll see Edamere do a lot of get in for that dirty work, and I think that's a pressure reliever, but looks like she's got a little bit of cramp to match at the start. And we haven't even finished the first half yet. She's been busy as Milan.
Into dummy half with a scoop, a nice carry. There's the Auckland Blues squad. Another run there from Danny Mafoy. Centre field we go. Tough carry and an offload there from Ivana Lautiti. Auckland Blue with another opportunity. Nice little nudge, slits to the defence. Our rugby league game has the smallest in goals in any sport. I know our rugby union brothers have larger in goals, but there are some grounds around the traps with some quite small in goals, and obviously there's an example of how precise our kicking game needs to be.
Yeah, Mount Smart number 2 is exactly the same, the tiniest in goals ever, and you've got to really just get that weight on it perfectly. You're just able to bounce it up, and again, Cornwall Park's not the best one too. They mow the track as well, so it's going to skid on perfectly when this surface dries up, and it looks like it is. So surprising, said it's going to rain all day today as well.
We're thankful to the weather gods for clearing up a bit, and we've got a big day in our hands. Just a reminder that we've got the Sean Johnson Cup and the Dean Bell Cup coming up as well, with the under-16s and the under-18s men's rugby league grand finals. Here we have the under-17s Georgia Hale Cup with 5 teams, the Waikato team, the Northland teams, and the Tauranga teams, Coastlines, and these 2 Auckland teams. So let's just acknowledge the teams that haven't made the final. They deserve an acknowledgement and a celebration as well.
And it's awesome to see all the other regions really get involved in well, and all the games have been really well played. I watched Coastline play Northland last week, and both of them hadn't had the best starts of the campaign, but Coastlines were able to just do it, as we see a half break down the left-hand side, weaving, ducking it. Emir does well to hold on there, and I think they really need to slow their ruck speed down again. It's just last 2 tackles haven't been the best.
This left edge has been really dangerous for the Auckland White team, as we see our half just following up her own kick, and an example once again of how precise our kicking game needs to be. But this dangerous left edge for the Auckland White team, directed with quality by Braxton, Sorensen, McGee, Tiane Fesolai, and our winger here on the left edge, Tiare and Leunga. They've been very dynamic this morning.
They really have. They've made the most of the space that's been on offer. Good long balls, finding them early, and that's what Braxton does well. She's really able to hit them on the chest, so all in a stride, all in a catch. You just use the burners after that. But I think those last couple of tackles here from Auckland Blue didn't find them on the opposition on their backs. Quick play the ball's got in there, and I think, again, Lemilate Paia, Braxton Sorensen, McGee, quick play the ball, early ball to them, able to get it running. And again, it's just like Evelyn Roberts as well, as we see a little shift. Matapo finds grass, and it's... Ooh, does well to lift the feet there, keep them in.
You guys watching at home, you might think that the big hits are actually the best. However, like you say, Dan, turtling the opposition, putting them on their back is the way to win the tackle. Slowing the play of the ball down, as we see a break and a late flop to me, but not called up by the referee. Unlucky there at Auckland Blue.
See the kick on the last. It's a wobbly one. It's going to bounce off the point again. Oh, it sits up nicely. It's like a little bit of a wrong turn. We see a half break again. Louis came back for it though, and it's not a bad end to the set there from Auckland Blue. The kick was nice. Able to find some space, and they'll want to aim up here, really put White on the back foot.
Just under 2 minutes to go, as we see some of our wahine toa sucking in the big ones. It's been a great quality of example of quality football this first half in the Georgia Hale Cup final. I'd just like to acknowledge both teams and the families out here supporting their daughters, supporting their partners, supporting their sisters, nieces, mokopuna, grandchildren. So acknowledgements to the Stream Shop and Auckland Rugby League for putting this event on and giving our young women an opportunity to play the game that we love.
Yeah, and credit goes to TJ. He made this last year, inaugural year for the Sean Johnson Shield and Dean Bell Cup, and Georgia Hale first year and this year, and the quality of footy amongst all three of the grades has been really good to see us. And Amir's not going to say die on this play, and I don't think Auckland Blue will either, and that's forward pass been spotted.
As the first half comes to an end, 10-0 in favour of the Auckland White team, coached by Sefo Fui Maono. We've got to be pleased with both sides and their efforts in this first half. A day of great rugby league here at Cornwall Park. Both teams have been giving it to one another. I don't think it's over just yet. It's really important that the Auckland Blue team come out with the same attitude that they had in the first half.
Yeah, they will, and 10 points isn't only enough, but we'll keep it at 10 points. The second half will be back shortly for the rest of you.
The Fijian Cup, supporting grassroots Fiji. With international teams flying in to go up against the best club teams in Fiji. Over 50,000 in prizes for each sport. The Fijian Cup is placing a spotlight on untapped talent. A tournament like no other.
The Stream Shop are experts in live video content creation, connecting communities by sharing the magic moments as they happen. All sorts of sports, delivered on any platform, to anyone, anywhere in the world. We deliver cost-effective, high-quality production that really changes the game. It's the next best thing to being there live. Shoot it, stream it, share it with the Stream Shop. Proud supporters of the ARL.
The Fijian Cup, supporting grassroots Fiji. With international teams flying in to go up against the best club teams in Fiji. Over 50,000 in prizes for each sport. The Fijian Cup is placing a spotlight on untapped talent. A tournament like no other.
Toki mai anō e hoa mā ki tēnei whakapāhotanga o te whiringa toa whakamutunga. Welcome to the Georgia Hale Cup Grand Final, where we have the Auckland White team up 10 points against the Auckland Blue. However, both teams have come out with mana. It's been an awesome first half, sticking to one another as we see an example of some quality football here. Not the greatest defence in that example, but a little edge play on the right-hand side, and we're in for one of the 2 tries from the Auckland White team.
And it was funny because Auckland White didn't really have much running of the ball. They got it back from a one-on-one strip from either the plays. Taylor Bennett Masoi got over for one, and then followed up by Tiane Fesolai there. She crossed for a second 4-pointer to make that 10 points to 0. And Auckland Blue aren't out of it. They're still in the game. They just really need to, I think, I don't want to say they need to do anything more because they're doing everything so well. It's just they haven't scored any points. That's the thing. It's really interesting to say that, like, they're playing well and they're losing the game, but they don't have any points on the board. So I think it's just a matter of time before they get points on the board. And Auckland White need to just maintain a bit of play on it and just keep it going as well. And I think really need to try and quicken up the ruck for the likes of Mary Jane Taitor to run into it as well. But we've seen Auckland Blues defence has been sturdy as, really getting involved. And make sure you scan that QR code down there. Come play the game. Come go to www.playleague.co.nz, one of our new websites launched. Scan the QR code, really get involved. Find your nearest club. Find the club you want to join. I know I'm contemplating. I've been on the fence the whole season, really getting back into it. And the way they're able to offer opportunities for everyone through whether it's just normal rugby league tag that's starting up, Kiwi tag in the summer, masters, you've got every grade there is possible, all the girls, women's grades. And if you're really keen to play or you want to give it out for a first year, come down, join. Plenty of clubs have most of the grades available for you, so just get down. It's really good attitude and all the clubs are really friendly. You'll be welcomed by everyone, so don't be afraid. Come join in, and might see myself back down at Mount Albert in a few weeks. We'll never know.
Let's
or I
go.
might be pocketing that referee's whistle thanks to Vigo, so we'll see what I'm up to.
Hey, in any capacity, support to promote sports, because kids in sports stay out of court. That's what they say. And if you want to be a manager or a coach or a supporter, our clubs are crying out for resources and people power. And if you're a wealthy businessman, please also support our clubs too that are struggling to stay afloat now and then. 10 points to 0 here in the Georgia Hale Cup final. Auckland White currently ahead. However, like you say, Dan, Auckland Blue can be really pleased with their efforts in the first half. They had huge defence. They had some good shape, but just their last play options, they hadn't managed to finish things off as much as they would have hoped.
Yeah, they haven't forced too many repeat sets. I only think 1 or 2, but they've given the ball away down in the 10 on the last. So it's not a bad result if you're defending off there, and they won't be too happy with the start of this set. Really easy meters for White. They're inside on the short of the 30 as Sorensen McGee puts one up floating into space. The girls let it bounce and got to wrap that ball up, and we see it fired out, and we're going to see another try in here. That is Shafnoir Louis there taking that try. She scores. Good start for Auckland White. Auckland Blue will be disappointed with that, though.
100%. It's really important. Communication's the key to success, and there was a lack of communication when it came to the back three when we saw this huge up and under there by the half and Braxton Sorensen McGee. 15-4. Sort of with their backs turned, no comms there, unsure of who's going to tidy up, and great heads-up play there by the centre in Auckland White, and Faith Tavita finished off well there on the right-hand edge. Was that Tonga Sena Tautai?
Oh, yes, apologies to Louis on that. I'm looking at the wrong side of my sheet.
Hey, it's not your fault, Dan. These jerseys are so similar. So apologies once again to the whānau watching. And just a clarification also, that with the white collar and the white strip around the chest, that's our Auckland White team, and our Auckland Blue in the blue and red.
Yeah, I had a bad one with it last week when Auckland White were playing Auckland Black. The Auckland Black kick's got a nice little V running in with the white strip, and Auckland White again, this jersey makes it similar as we see a nice little nudge there. Oh, it's a perfect one again. The boot of Jonathan Thurston right there from Braxton Sorensen McGee. But again, this bomb went up and no one put a name on it. Bounced.
Yeah. I have to be honest, when I watch women's rugby league in all levels, I'm not backing in any of the kickers. I know most of the time they're unsuccessful with their conversions, but this girl's got a gift. Head down, like a goal swing. Doesn't even watch it.
Just
Just
clean as a
knows.
whistle.
Just clean, bro.
And it's funny because when we were working out at Cornwall Park end of last year while we were getting the building renovated, the boys and I do kicks during our little lunch break, and I'll just tell you that Braxton strikes it better than I do, so. But then again, didn't have too much of a goal kick. We see a short one, and that's just rewards there. Interesting little one. You don't see too many short kickoffs nowadays. They've got the ball back to Blue, and it's a good opportunity here to respond.
Yeah, unfortunately, the captain was caught out there with a bit of a fumble, and Claudia Finau. Prime opportunity for the Auckland Blue team to respond. And quite a dominant passage of the game. Here we see Auckland Blue with some space. Good run there. However, it was the first tackle. Mahi Mahunga, the rugby league IQ is more important than speed and strength. So I hope that Shanti Louis would have had an opportunity to play that back again.
Yeah, she would have liked that one back. Just the ball was a little bit behind her. I think she had a little bit more depth on the play. Would have plucked that straight in the chest and been on her way with it. And I think Auckland White breathed a little bit of a sigh of relief there. Lucky to get away with that after see a little bit of a double cut play and a half break again from Sorensen McGee, who fires an offload out the back. And a late-ish hit that's been wrapped up well there by Evelyn Roberts. She's done well there. But good little interplay. The second phase will be key here for Auckland White. Really put Blue on their back foot.
Not the greatest opportunity of possession with Auckland Blue. Getting the ball back early from the kick and then losing the ball also early in the first play. Not the ideal response. However, a little bit of a messy play the ball there, and Auckland Blue an opportunity once again to have a hit out at the Auckland Whites defence and try and put some points on the board.
Yeah, a little bit of a tit for tat there. One error on one end, the error on the other, and I think most NRL players play the ball like that. So I think the girls have done better than half of them have. So I saw a few last night that were bad, where it was just straight under the ball, no foot touching it, and they let it slide 90% of the time. But I think they could take a lesson off these girls, I reckon.
Here we go, a little show and feed. Centre field, once again, fed out by a half-strong carry. Shrugs off one, shrugs off two. That's our prop forward for the Auckland Blue team in Ivana Lauititi. To the right-hand edge we go, centre field. A rangy Soraya Pale of Samoan Whakapapa. Auckland Girls Grammar and a proud Māngere East Hawk representative. Bit of a drop-off there that was cleaned up well there of one of the reserves that's come on the field, and Marlena Laver. Stripped, I think, from the referee. Oh, he's been almost too kind, this referee. Hasn't blown his whistle too much this morning.
Yeah, he has. He's let it flow well, but it looked like there was a little bit of a rake on the ball there. Yeah, hands all on it. It's like Adam Pompey's one all over again. Referee lets it slide.
Don't remind us. I was down at Mount Smart last weekend, and I get frustrated of participating in an Australian competition. I've got a lot of love. My nana lives in Australia, and I love a lot of my cousins and things, but we never get the rub of the green.
No, it's in a lot of sports as well. The Wellington Phoenix struggles sometimes, as do the Breakers, especially when they played Sydney Kings in that final. And you see bouncing off 1-2, and it's strong runs here. Bench has made a little bit of an impact for this Auckland White team, and helping get that roll on back into it. We haven't seen too many runs from dummy half, but again, Ashley Matapo's been in for work. She's carried it, run strong, lines, under lines, and everywhere. Quick play the balls in that as well.
Centre field, Auckland White with good possession. Little show and go. Good thing about posting up the attack is you've got the opportunity to go left and go right. I really like the way how this dummy half carries the ball in two hands to almost confuse the opposition, whether or not she'll show, go, pass, chip and regather. Not the greatest decision there, turning the ball back on the inside. The receiver wasn't prepared.
And they'll need big carries there from the outside backs. Just get in for that dirty work. You've got to roll the sleeves up now. Try and take some pressure off the forwards. We haven't seen too many carries from Soraya Pale, who's when she gets the ball and gets it at speed as well, damaging runner, big frame, future NRLW player in the making with the size and skill set she's got. And I think she just needs to just a few more touches, go wanting for that ball. Don't wait for it to come to you. Get involved, get in there. As we see it right there, Speaker the Devil. And look at that, still on the feet going. 1, 2, 3, 4 to stop her. There you go, right on cue, Soraya Palepale.
Kicking out a dummy half there was Milan Ieremia. Just a bit complacent, the Auckland Blues squad. It was a good carry there from Soraya Palepale. Our captain, in fact, needs to help her halves direct the play a bit more efficiently in the second half if they have an opportunity to come back.
I think that's where you need the likes of Evelyn Roberts just to scream for that ball, make it her own, really put up. Again, I reckon a midfield bomb would have put everyone under a bit of pressure. We've already seen when the ball goes up from both sides, it's tough to deal with. No one really wants to make a claim, and that's Claudia Fino there, the captain on the other side, making a good little run. 13 on 13 in that tackle there. You love to see them get it stuck into each other. But again, Braxton, when she has that ball in two hands, dangerous player, really engages the line.
Awesome example of fluency and hands and distribution of the pill. Centre field goes. Bounce back to one, I'm thinking, from the referee. However, Auckland Blue was standing in front of the kicker. Is that usually the case, or what's the call here?
I think that might be accidental offside there. Good spot, Lewin. I didn't see Letitia Mitchner in front, but referees deemed it, so you got to play those whistle.
100% quick tap and up the guts is the attitude from our prop forward here in Melissa Tau. Melissa Tau with the carry. Tackle 2, centre field, 1 out stuff. With Claudia Finau. Just got a hold up here. And Soraya Palepale. A little burrowing try. Brandon Smith try. I think I've shared with you before, Dan, I'm not a fan of these tries at a dummy half. They should be only worth 2 points. However, a try's a try. And as we see, Soraya Palepale really struggling to maintain with the attack of Auckland White, and the smile shares 1,000 words here from Mary Jane Taito. Under the post, Auckland White.
It's a good little bit of strength there from Mary Jane Taito. She was wrapped up really well, but able to just shrug out and just force that ball down. I think Auckland Blue, they could have got a little lower there at the ruck, just made sure that they were really steady, really ready to go, get under that ball, hold her up, but take nothing away from that try. The strength and determination to get that ball out of the hands and slam it on the floor. And Braxton Sorensen McGee missed one today, and that was still on line to be there, just didn't have the legs. And I reckon you knock her in for either man of the match today, along with Taylor Bennett Masoi doing all the hard lifting for them.
Yeah, good work here once again by the number 9, Mary Jane Taito. She identified that Soraya Palepale was struggling, a little bit of fatigue from her strong carries, and just noticed that she was slow from marking up and squaring up at the play of the ball, and anyone would capitalize on that opportunity to make more points under the sticks.
Yeah, and again, they extend that lead to Auckland White. Auckland Blue haven't had too much of the ball in good position in the second half, whereas to start that first half, all the possession, all the territory, really making the most of it. It's awesome to see all the family down there supporting these young women and their dream to really continue. If they continue to rugby, we're happy with that. You can be like young Caitlin Vahakolo, who's switching between both coaches, plays for the Kiwi Ferns, plays for the All Black women's side, and the Blues too, and Super Rugby Opiki. And it's awesome to see that really taking off as well. And the final the other day was one to behold too. And I think when NRLW kicks off, we're in for a good treat this year with women's footy.
Just over 18 minutes to go here of game 1 of 3 here at Cornwall Park, Tamaki Makaurau, with the Georgia Hale Cup still to come, the Sean Johnson Cup and the Dean Bell Cup. Following this game where Auckland Whites has dominated for the bulk of the fixture, 22 points to 0 here. Let's hope the floodgates don't open, because Auckland Blue don't deserve to have a big score on them in the grand final, because they have shown great glimpses of some quality football.
Yeah, they haven't. Oh, a little bit of a sloppy play there from Auckland White. They haven't had too many of those today or in the second half, as a matter of fact. But I think Auckland Blue, they just need a bit of ball back in their hands. And I think middle of the field ball will really help. So they need to just aim up defensively, force an error. And at the moment, it's all about one-way traffic in the second half. Auckland White putting the foot on the gas foot here, really getting it going as that bounce is horrible for Edemir. She's got a lot of work to do. Still going, ever so close to try and get out and buy her team a bit of pressure reliever there.
Sena Tautai does well here to clean up the fullback in Milan, Edemir. Good kick, Dan, very good kick. Split the defenders. The bounce was hard to read. Nearly out of her own in goal. But good defence once again by Tonga Sena Tautai.
And it's good work there. Auckland White just putting the screws on them now. Got a repeat set, really getting quick play the balls in two. And again, speak of that, Mary Jane Title, previous try scorer, making a little dash back up the ruck there. And it's all but opening up in the middle now. And little pick and go from Claudia Fino. But sturdy defence there from the girls.
Little one-out stuff. I think the girls are getting a bit of a white line fever, all wanting an opportunity to put some points on. As we see, the ball beats the player any time, and she held up there. There's plenty of women in numbers in the tackle. 22 points to 0. Great resilience shown by the Auckland Blue side. But like I said earlier, Dan, a bit of one-out footy at the moment, and we show how dangerous the ball is when it's spread.
A little bit, but what a kick on the money, just like that. Tonga Tautai there claims another Braxton Sorensen McGee crossfield kick, really putting the screws on them. But as you can see again, look at all the bodies caught in the middle of the ruck. So much space, and just had to pluck it out of the sky and just walk over almost.
That's rugby league IQ there from Sorensen McGee. I mean, in defence, sometimes you have compressed defence where you jam in, and just great identification of our halves, showing and knowing that a winger was still hugging the sideline. Big up and under, and a great example of some pretty impressive hands being able to catch and receive quite a high bomb and put the ball down in the corner there. There's Tonga Sena Tautai. Braxton Sorensen McGee. I've got to back her in.
I would too. I put all my rent money on it this week. My lease is up next week, so Brax, I'm backing you here.
Let's go to Ahine. Let's go, sister. Right to left. Unlucky there. Oh, well, you'll be living off Migo ring noodles again there, my bro, Dan.
Yes, I would, and I've been doing that for the last couple of weeks, so it's more than happy for me. But again, that kick it's on the money. We didn't see too many crossfield kicks from the boys last week, and I mean, it was a tale of two stories last week. The day before on the Saturday, no one did any crossfield kicks. Following Sunday, everyone's pinging it, cross, left, right, centre, scoring tries galore. So it just shows you how important a kick is to really getting on that final. And I think, again, when you've got a half like Braxton, who's got the ball on a string at the minute, really in the running for MVP, your scoreline's just going to keep going up and up and up, and just shows you, again, those last tackle options you spoke of before, Lewin, really just a class above in the context here, as they're struggling to, Auckland Blue are to really find that final product, whereas Auckland White, mate, it's just been on a string, on the money, every play it is.
Yep. Well, with the quality of stock, such as a halfback in Braxton Sorensen McGee directing her squad around, and also Mary Jane Title out of the hooking position, they've just really directed their team around well this morning.
Yeah, they haven't. Auckland Blue are still in this fight. I think they can crack that donut. They don't want to end up with that. Still plenty of time, though, left. We've got probably just over 10 minutes left in this second half, but it's all been Auckland White, all the territory, all the possession. They're really doing it tough here at Auckland Blue at the minute. And as we see a few one-out hit-ups, and that's what it's been for Auckland Blue, one out. Just a little too deep when they need to be flatter, a little too flat when they need to be deeper. But it's great recognition from White to just see who's at the ruck, how many at the ruck. We see a nice line there. That's Faith Tavita again. Oh, arm free as well. Look out for that offload. Second phase is going to be crucial for these boys, and they swing it right again.
Turn back on the inside, there's Limi Laiti Paia, who hasn't really shown too much in this fixture. It's all been Sorensen McGee. Little bubble back as Tiaria and Leunga tries to tidy up. And swallowed well there by the back rower in Aliana Tonu'u.
And I think that's a good little win there for Auckland Blue. They did well to put the pressure on, really make them pass around, as we see a couple in the tackle there with a big shot. And I think they'll be happy with that end of the set there. Auckland Blue really muscled up defensively, stopped that. And again, just in this scenario here, they need to be a little bit flatter, come onto the ball at a bit of speed so they can really hit that advantage line. And that'll be crucial for getting down the other end here.
Auckland Blue, one out footy, who's pushing up with her? No one just yet. I reckon they've probably gassed themselves out in the first 20 minutes. Auckland Blue, to me, was the team with their tails up. Both ways there. Auckland Blue, good defence right in their face.
Yeah, Auckland White really getting up off the line. And again, just all a little conjointed on this side. The ball didn't really need to be thrown when you see the winger jamming in like that. And it was a good read from Tonga Totai there. She's done well to come and really put that pressure on. They know the ball was swinging that way. And I think that's been a little bit, no, I wouldn't say a problem, but I think that's just the recognition. They're all across all three of the grades, young players, just understanding when, like Richie said with myself last week, it's just you think of throwing the pass, you throw the pass, but in recognition, you just got to hold on to it. Make sure you do the safe play first. And boy, Richie's a fun one to commentate with. He sees everything before it happens.
Yeah, big mihi to Rich. Thank him for coming and sharing his talents both on and off the field with us in the commentary team. Just like to acknowledge all these women here that have made their way into the grand final and the schools that they represent and the clubs and the families that they represent. Auckland White 26-0 isn't really a true reflection of the quality of footy that's been present. Good defence there. Staying able to stay up and offload as well as Auckland White. Good slowing the football down there by Auckland Blue.
Here we go,
Well
just
done.
rewards there for Auckland Blue. And Edemia's got the cramps again. She's going down and it's not looking good. She's really had a bit of niggle in all the leagues when she's played Milan Edemia, really getting cramps everywhere, left, right and centre. But yeah, just a little bit of discipline there, a little bit of a bobble in the play there ball. From there was Liu Fo there. But again, Braxton on camera now, ball on a string, really just proving it well. As not looking good for Milan down there, and a bit of strife.
Nothing too serious, a bit of cramp, I think. Don't forget, 2 more games to come. Come and join the game with us. Scan this QR code or visit www.playleague.co.nz. New initiative to promote our proud game of rugby league. And if you're in 2 minds of which club to support, there's multiple clubs, north, south, east, west of Auckland, that you can be a part of. So it's a really good community, the rugby league community. The people mean well.
Yeah, they do. And I remember my first year down at Mount Albert, I knew no one. Went in there, everyone was so welcoming. They're really good down at the club. I think back when I was down there, we had the likes of myself, Riley Price, who's playing for the Cowboys this weekend, so really geeing up some of the boys, Isaiah Vangana too. We had a stacked team back then, Aidan Ackland, who's still involved with Mount Albert, Rory Ropati, really, those boys helped introduce me when I started in early Ackers and all them, and then back when I was playing with Riley, Steve Price's son, you'd see Steve down there every weekend supporting his kids. And just the culture down there with Arnie Charrington, who works with NZRL now, and she's awesome down there. Arnie's really made everyone feel welcome. And just, I think that's what we do so well in our rugby league community. Everyone's welcoming. The likes of Margaret East really bringing all the numbers. Val down there, she's awesome with everyone. Had the privilege of talking with her at Kiwi Tag, and they get big numbers down there, along with Barbie and Carla Matua. down at Manurewa as well. Again, Rewa, big one as we see the error there, and it's play on for Limilati Paia. But a weaving, ducking, scheming.
When you play footy alongside a bloke, you're almost boys for life. I had 35 years around the sun last night, so some of the lads came over my place and we played footy together since we were 6, and now we're near 36, and they're still, still to this day, they're my best buddies, man. And so rugby league did that for us, and I'm sure there's plenty of friendships that have been created and formed, and bonds and ties that we still carry to this day. Auckland White with the pill. To the right-hand side they go. Fullbacks tied it up there a bit with Taylor Bennett Masoy. Mary Jane fed to the left. 6 with ball in hand. Standoff there, and Limi Laiti Paia. Mary Jane having a little sneak out of dummy half once again. Just caught short there.
And again, that space has opened up for her in the second half. Really had no running for dummy half as they're going 1, 2, 3 on the overlap. And again, they cross Auckland White. It's Tiane Fesolai again. Got another.
Yeah, the floodgates are just opening a bit too much. Just let the ball do the work. As we can see, look, 4v1. Did well there, the bench player and Ava Grace Lemalu Lefal.
But I think that goes down to, again, they're getting that nice roll on to play the ball quick speed. Mary Jane Taito started to scheme in the second half, darting left, right, centre. Almost crossed again just before, but that congestion around the ruck, spaces out wide, did the most of it, let the ball do the talking there at Auckland White, and 30 points to 0. And to think it was only 10 points in the end of the first half, Lewin, it's just exploded in the second here. And Auckland Blue have had probably only about 20% of the ball. Territory's been down their end. They're really struggling to get out now.
Oh, this will be a test for our young golden boot. Good effort. Big smile on her face. There's Braxton Sorensen McGee and Mepena Katika. She's been very instrumental in the success of this Auckland White team in the Georgia Hale Cup final this morning. And like I said, 15 did well there. Other Grace with double pumping and taking the ball to the line. Just delaying that defender a bit more and then feeding the ball out. It was 4v1. So it was inevitable that the Auckland White team would go over again there.
Yeah, and as you can see, Auckland Blue just taking their time again. I think the sails have gone down, lost a little bit of wind behind it, and they'll want to keep pushing. They'll really want to try and crack that and just get a try on the board there. They'll feel a bit more relief and less pressure on it. They've done well, though, and all that ball in the first half and just a lot of defending in the second has really gassed them here.
We're underway once again, just over 7 minutes of play time left in the Georgia Hale Cup final, where this Auckland White team has become a dominant force for the majority of the game. However, Auckland Blue have shown some great examples of brunt and effort and gang tackles and just haven't managed to capitalise when they've had the ball or had the pill, and Auckland White really running away with it in the second half.
Yeah, and again, I think that goes down to how hard their forwards have worked. Auckland White really laying that platform. And again, look, you see 1, 2, 3 caught around the ruck. Really slow to get back. Mary Jane Taito started to scheme around there. Lemilate Paia started to run the ball a bit more in the last few minutes and got it going a bit as we see her drop Feta Vida in there. And she hasn't had too much ball, but when she's had it, she's made the most of it. Really damaging runs. But I think Braxton has the ball on a string as Lemilate Paia. Oh, the trap and scrap. And the weave and the duck, and unfortunate knock on there.
Knock on by who? Blue or White?
I think that was off Blue when they tried to pick it up after they trapped it. So White again, ascendancy their way. Inside the 20, really looking to rack up a big scoreline here.
Prime real estate at the moment is the Auckland White team to put some more points on the board. As we saw earlier, that the ball, when you let the ball do the work, a bit of a set move there. With the face ball. And then away there from the winger, takes her opponent on and shows her up. Good footwork there by Tiare and Launga. However, the set move was a little bit clunky, as we see off the scrum here, but the long ball at the end and the speed and the skill of our winger to, here we go, a bit of a drop off, bit of a wrap, almost a bit of a shepherd. Look at that. Come and get me.
The footwork there at the line was something to behold, and then we see all the girls running, pulling Aaron Woods, everyone jumping over the top, missing it. And good old Woodsy's at Manly now, so it'll be interesting to see how the two young boys go at the Dragons, and I'll be cheering them on tonight when they're playing the Dolphins, but again, you can't go wrong there because it's fins up, baby.
Fins up. Yeah. We might be seeing a bit of a demise of the Dolphins. They've got a few injuries at the moment. But I was listening to 360 last week, and it's unfortunate that the competition has an odd number. You know, I know buys a buy and you still get the points, but it's frustrating when there is a buy, especially if you're a fantasy coach. But
tell me about it, mate. I've had to drop Cleary, and it's really cost me a little bit there after you had an absolute blinder. Again, ex-Mount Albert prodigy Nathan Cleary. Yeah, the boys over there in Penrith, and again, they look like they're ready to roll on.
Well, where I was heading is they're crying out for another team, and that team's coming from New Zealand. Come on, Auckland Rugby League, New Zealand Elite Rugby League, the NRL, let's get it together. Let's have a team out of the South Island or out of Wellies, and let's have our own sort of state of origin fixture with the North Island up against the South Island. We've been talking about this for years. Here's an opportunity to retain some of our talent, so our boys at 16, 15, 14, whatever, don't just think that going to Australia is the opportunity to promote your game.
And on the topic of that, it's interesting to see how many of the products actually come out of the South Island, the likes of Jordan Ricky and co, and they're really in there, and he's excelled at the Broncos after coming out of Christchurch, and I think maybe that South Island team try and compete with that Crusaders with the tough ask there, but again, it'd be the same if you're in Wellington. You'd be competing with the Hurricanes. Only one stadium, Sky Stadium, it is down there, but Christchurch might be your best bet.
True.
Bringing everyone from Otago region or up top of the South Island.
All right.
So we'll see. Fingers crossed, though, and we're praying it's another New Zealand team.
Handy.
Again, sick of those Queensland teams. Well, they've got 4 now there, and it's just doing my head in.
True. Too true. And also, I mean, you know, when we were hit by COVID, NRL promised the Warriors to have more home games, but we've only got 9 home games. And so that's a bit of a smack in the face. The sacrifices and the commitment that we made to keep the competition going hasn't been repaid. However, enough amu, enough arguing, enough spitting the dummy. Let's acknowledge both teams here in the Georgia Hale Cup final, where Auckland White have cleaned up and taken home the goods. I've been really impressed with Braxton Sorensen McGee, and as captain or co-captain of this Auckland White team, she has really been influential in her squad taking away the victory here at full time, 34 points to 0.
Yeah, it's been a good game. Auckland Blue looked like they had the running at the start of that first half, but White, too good, too strong. Braxton, again, MVP of this game, I reckon. She had the ball on a string. Scoreline suggests that it was a dominant one from Auckland White, but again, you'd say both teams are pretty good, but it's an exciting start to the day, and really, really love watching young girls like this really get the opportunity to showcase, and we're keen for some Sean Johnson Shield and next up, and that'll be a good one too with Auckland White and Auckland Black. And then Dean Bell Cup after that. 11:45 is the next one. 34 points to 0. Auckland White over Auckland Blue. We'll be back with a Sean Johnson Shield soon for you.
Roots Fiji.
That was already? Yeah.
With international teams flying in to go up against the best club teams in Fiji. Over 50,000 in prizes for each sport. The Fijian Cup is placing a spotlight on untapped talent. tournament like no other.
The Stream Shop are experts in live video content creation, connecting communities by sharing the magic moments as they happen. All sorts of sports, delivered on any platform, to anyone, anywhere in the world. We deliver cost-effective, high-quality production that really changes the game. It's the next best thing to being there live. Shoot it, stream it, share it with the Stream Shop. Proud supporters of the ARL.
The Fijian Cup, supporting grassroots Fiji. With international teams flying in to go up against the best club teams in Fiji. Over 50,000 in prizes for each sport. The Fijian Cup is placing a spotlight on untapped talent. A tournament like no other.
Tauti mai rā e hoa mā ki tēnei o ngā whiringa toa whakamutunga. Tino eke paneku te kapa mā, Auckland White Tāmaki Makaurau, very dominant in this grand final fixture, 34 points to 0 over their Auckland Blue counterparts. No doubt there's some friendships amongst both teams also, as we see a couple of highlights from one of, how many tries? 7 or so tries?
I think around 7, 8 tries for this Auckland White side, and Taylor Benamasoi kicked it off, and from there,
when are you having
it was
my
an even first half, was it 10-0 at the break, and then after that, just one-way traffic, baby, straight down the highway.
As we see once again, Sorensen McGee, very influential. Really, there was some good in and aways, both sides of the field, both halves as well. Here we see a huge up and under midfield bomb that wasn't tidied up in the greatest fashion. Good work there by the centre and Faith Tavita, and showing her kind heart to be able to pass the ball on to Tonga Sena. Very shortly we're going to witness the presentation.
And it's my absolute pleasure to be presenting today's award. On behalf of Auckland Rugby League, we'd like to acknowledge both teams for...
Who's this here? Our sister Rochelle Ne Tamarua.
Rochelle Tamarua, one lucky lady who's been involved with the NRL refereeing. I saw her warming up the other week when we had the home game. I think she was on the line for the Cup, and opportunity last year to be at the World Cup, and really outstanding job she's done to progress her pathway into being a dominant referee for the future, I reckon.
New Zealand Warriors for their continued support for the past 2 years. To New Zealand Rugby League for sanctioning the event and also making...
We'll just hear a few words from Rochelle and
TJ Ashford and also
her acknowledgements to the heart by all, to the people behind the scenes.
Ladies, I want you to acknowledge your coaches, your managers and your physios for making sure that you guys were looked after well. So if you can give them a clap as well. And last of all, to the Stream Shop. So they have covered as many games as possible. So they've given us a platform for our families and our friends that weren't able to be with us today to watch some footy online. So we're moving into our first awards. So our first award is our most valuable player.
I think you've put your mee goreng noodles on this girl to get the MVP as well there, Brother Dan.
2023 is Braxton McGee.
There we go.
Easy dub. She deserves it. Not only a distribution of the pill, but blown away with the skill sets in terms of her conversions. She's going to say a few words as well.
Short and sharp, that's how you like it.
Yeah. She lets her actions speak more than her words. Make sure the Warriors sign her up as well. Well done to Braxton, Sorensen, McGee, and the Auckland White team. Calling up the captain from Auckland Blues, Soraya Pale. Excuse me, Evelyn Roberts from Mangere East. Kia mohi ai koutou e whakarongo maina. This young lady is only 14 years old.
On behalf of us, Auckland Blues, we'd like to say, we'd like to go with congratulations to Auckland White Sisters. I'm going to say it's good to see us communicating with each other and encouraging each other on the field. Thank you to our supporters from both sides. Thank you for everything you've done for us to get us here today. And to our staff and the team staff as well. Thank you for everything you've done for us.
Co-captains there of the Auckland Blues squad. Nice words from Evelyn Roberts and Soraya Pale. Coming to receive their runners-up medals of the Georgia Hale Cup Grand Final.
And handing them out as former NRLW player and Tanika Jazz Bell from the Warriors. Very Pussie's partner, and it's awesome to see them getting involved down there as we see Milan waving to the camera. She's always like that, just like her mum, always in front of the camera, really putting a good wave on. And Tash was down here in the morning when she dropped her off, but she's down at our AGM, and I think they'll all be down later. So hopefully we can see our CEO, Rebecca Russell, down here too. And I know they'll be having it on watching there. But it's just awesome to see the girls showcase their talents today. And we're looking for an exciting two of the next one, blockbuster games we've got.
Let's go. We've got the Sean Johnson Cup. And then the Dean Bell Grand Final at 1 o'clock. So, e hoa makaua haere tawhiti. Don't go too far. Great games coming up. Big mihi once again to the Stream Shop in Auckland Rugby League for promoting women and men's rangatahi rugby league.
Ladies and gentlemen, your guys winners for the Georgia Hale Cup 2023 is Auckland White. Nice work. So if I can have your captain come up and say a few words, followed by the players. Thank you. Firstly, I'd just like to thank the Heavenly Father for bringing us all here. Huge shout out to the Blues. They mean talent out there and really gave it to us. And lastly, I'd just like to thank the ARL for giving us girls more opportunities every year. Thanks, cheers.
Good initiative seeing 3 co-captains of a squad. We see within our RL teams these leadership. Why are we laughing? Which team has a belt? It's the Dolphins, eh?
No, it's the Tigers.
Oh, it's the Tigers.
Yep.
It's the Tigers.
And we don't know who's going to be the captain. I think Ken Mamalo was one last week. Tyrone Peachy was the next. And then he got suspended in that game. So, yeah, the Tigers are a bit of a all over the show at the minute.
Yeah. Oh, well. Big mihi to the captains, Braxton Sorensen, McGee, Mary Jane Taicho, and those were words from Claudia Finau. And deserved winners is this Auckland White team. 34 points to 0 in the final. They've showed some great skill sets on display here this morning at Cornwall Park, receiving their medallions for the champs of the Georgia Hale Cup. It is still quite in its infancy, isn't it? It's the second year running, third year running, is it?
I think it might be the second year running in it. It's great to see that these girls are provided that pathway, and that's what we want here, is just along with the Warriors and just maintaining that they're kept in New Zealand. That's the priority at the minute, is if we can keep building Tasha Gale in the future, our side coming back 2025, you know, big things on the horizon, and especially with the NRLW extending to 10 teams as well. So, I mean, if they're not kept by us, plenty of opportunity out there for them, but we'd prefer them to be repping the Warriors uniform every week and making sure that they're doing their families proud, and I think that's what it all is.
I think we'll talk a bit about the Wars up in our next game with the Shaun Johnson Shield Final. It's a proud time to be a Warriors supporter, and I've been really impressed with their attitudes and performances, even in their close losses this year. The test up against the Sharks, I think, will be really important this Sunday. And once again, just acknowledge the Auckland White team victors here at Cornwall Park George Hale Cup. It's been a privilege to bring you coverage alongside Dan McKenzie. We've got 2 games coming up also. That's the Shaun Johnson Shield Grand Final at 11:45, and we've got the D-Bell Cup at 1 p.m. So don't go too far. It's been a privilege to bring you coverage proudly from the Stream Shop and Auckland Rugby League.